In the 3 years we were married, I told Chris Hemsworth I loved him 999 times. Chris only said it back to me 3 times. The first time was when we made things official. I said, I love you. Chris sighed. Scarlett, my feelings for you, they aren't love. I told myself he just needed time. The second time was at our wedding. I said, I love you. He seemed to snap out of a daze and whispered, I have a responsibility to you. I told myself he just wasn't good with words. The third time was when I signed our divorce papers. As a final goodbye, I said, I love you. Chris hesitated for a long moment. Scarlett, this is pointless. This time, I couldn't make any more excuses for him. Because just 1 minute earlier, I had watched him stop his childhood sweetheart in her tracks, his voice thick with emotion as he pleaded, I love you. I've always loved you. I couldn't help but laugh, a bitter, broken sound. I threw the divorce papers right in his face. Pointless, Chris? We dated for 5 years and we were married for 3. Were those 8 years pointless? Tell me. 8 years. You'd think that would be enough time to warm up a goddamn rock, so what the hell is your heart made of? But before he could answer, his precious Taylor Swift rushed forward, shielding him with her own body. Don't you dare talk to him like that. The edge of the paper sliced across Taylor's cheek. A thin line of blood welled up, and Chris's perfectly calm expression instantly hardened into a thundercloud. Scarlett, I'm the one who wronged you. Why are you dragging other people into this? I shot back, my voice shaking with rage. Shouldn't you be explaining to your still legal wife why there's another woman living in our house? Taylor gasped dramatically. Chris, my face, it really hurts. Chris shot me a venomous look. This isn't over. I watched them walk away, a familiar ache settling in my chest. Had anything between us ever been easy? My story with Chris is painfully simple. He mistook me for the woman who saved his life. When my family's company went bankrupt, Chris appeared like a knight in shining armor, proposing a marriage to save us with a massive capital injection. He said it was love at first sight. He showered me with gifts, spoiled me rotten, promised me the world. I thought it was love, even if that love felt as fast and dizzying as a hurricane. But his affair came just as fast. On the first day of our honeymoon, he asked me, where's the scar on your waist? I looked at him, confused. What scar? Then the world started screaming at me that Chris Hemsworth was cheating. That he had fallen for a small-town girl and was dropping millions on her at charity auctions. I cried. I screamed. I fought with him. Finally, Chris dropped the bomb. You stole Taylor's life. She was the one who saved me. You're just an imposter. My tears stopped instantly. I stared at him, dumbfounded. Saved you? What are you talking about? Didn't you marry me because you loved me? He pinched the bridge of his nose, his voice low and tired. I married you because I thought you were the one who saved me from drowning. Saying I liked you, that I loved you, that was all just to make you feel secure in the marriage. Neither Taylor nor I are at fault here. It was a simple misunderstanding. But I expect you not to hold a grudge against her. She's innocent in all this. Taylor was innocent because she didn't know. Chris was blameless because he was just trying to repay a debt. So what about me? I had spent 5 years loving him with everything I had, only to be told 2 days into our marriage that it was all a lie. What exactly was my crime? I wiped my tears and picked up the divorce papers from the floor. Chris hadn't signed them yet, but it didn't matter. A 2-year separation was grounds enough to file. I wasn't going to spend another second in this hell. On the way to the airport, a call came from my parents' house. What the hell are you and Chris fighting about now? The Hemsworths are pulling their funding. I told you your only job was to be a good little wife. You should be grateful he hasn't divorced you yet. Why are you making waves? My father's yelling rained down on me. At the same time, a text from Chris popped up. Get to the hospital and apologize. You know the consequences if you don't. A wave of utter exhaustion washed over me. The driver, without a word, made a U-turn and headed for the hospital. My apologies, ma'am. My paycheck comes from the Hemsworth family. At the hospital, Taylor's head was completely wrapped in white gauze. Chris was cooing at her softly. It's okay, you don't look ugly at all. Your head is perfectly round, it's actually really cute. For a second, I felt a strange sense of déjà vu. Early in our relationship, I'd cut my hand, and Chris had the doctor wrap it up just like that. He chuckled and said, it is my honor to serve as your right hand for the week. Thank you for this privilege, Ms. May. But that was all in the past. The warmth on Chris's face vanished the moment he saw me. He sneered. Weren't you being so defiant? What are you doing here? I fired back, wouldn't know. Mr. Hemsworth specifically ordered his driver to turn the car around. Otherwise, I'd be sipping champagne in Paris right now. Chris raised an eyebrow. Vacationing in Paris? Scarlett, let's get one thing straight. I am the one who supports you. The designer clothes on your back, the Birkin in your hand, your first-class ticket to Paris. The only reason you're standing here right now instead of serving drinks in some dive bar is because of me. Seeing the pain look on my face, Chris's expression softened slightly. He sighed. Just apologize, go home, and I can pretend none of this ever happened. But I can't. I looked at him, my voice weary. How long are you going to keep up this 3-person circus? I'm done being the third wheel in your tragic love story. Let's get a divorce. I held out the papers. He took them, his eyes falling on my signature. A cruel smile spread across his lips. Fine, Scarlett. You really want to play this game. He stood up, his hand gripping my jaw. You want a divorce? Then you can leave behind everything the Hemsworths ever gave you. Take off the clothes I bought you. Leave the bag I bought you. And as for your family, I'm pulling every last cent of my investment. Are you willing to do that, Scarlett? I met his gaze and undid the first button of my blouse. Just as I was about to undo the second, he threw his jacket over me, his voice a furious snarl. Are you insane? Have you no goddamn shame? Chris, you're the one with no shame. You dragged me into this mess. You wasted 8 years of my life. You're the one who asked for this. I'm tired. Just let me go. He opened his mouth to say something, but Taylor suddenly burst into tears. It's okay, Chris. It's my fault. Miss May has every right not to apologize. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have shown up. I shouldn't have told you I was the one who saved you. I shouldn't have protected you. It's all my fault. Chris's expression hardened. He shoved me away. Take my wife back to the estate and calm her down. No one lets her out without my explicit permission. Not until she's ready to apologize. Chris locked me in the attic. On his orders, the staff brought me increasingly pathetic meals each day. But strangely, I didn't have much of an appetite anyway. I started sleeping. For 16, 17 hours at a time, lost in an endless loop of dreams. Sometimes, I was back when I first met Chris. I didn't believe his love at first sight act and tried to keep my distance. My parents' disastrous marriage taught me early on that tying your family's business to a marriage was a recipe for heartbreak, but he was all I had. My parents blamed each other for the bankruptcy, both scrambling to hide assets and sell me off to the highest bidder. They even drugged me once to get me into another man's bed. Chris burst in and swept me into his arms. I clung to him, desperate for something to prove I was loved, that I wasn't completely abandoned. He held me and repeated over and over, I'm here. I will never leave you, Scarlett. Don't be afraid. But the next moment, the dream would shift to the day we broke. His face was cold and cruel. That's right. It was all because I thought you were someone else. I never loved you, Scarlett. Who could ever love a spoiled, useless socialite like you? And then I would be falling, with nothing to hold on to, nothing to save me. No. I woke with a jolt, finding Chris standing by my bed. He smelled of citrus, Taylor's signature perfume. I turned my head away. What are you doing here? His gaze was heavy. You didn't eat today. I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten a single thing in 35 hours. Get downstairs. The doctor is here to check on you. After an examination, the doctor came to a conclusion. I was being poisoned. Mrs. Hemsworth has been given excessive doses of a potassium-based sedative. It restricts blood flow and slows the metabolism. Symptoms include increased lethargy and loss of appetite. Long-term exposure can lead to severe psychological damage. Chris glanced at me, his voice like ice. Get every single person on this estate in here. I want them checked, one by one. When they got to the maid who brought me water, she collapsed to the floor in terror. I'll talk. I did it. I drugged her. She frantically handed over a burner phone. It was Taylor. She told me to do it. She said she'd give me $5 million if I killed Mrs. Hemsworth. Chris's expression was unreadable. After a long silence, he forced out 2 words, that's impossible. He gave the phone to his assistant. Traced the IP address of the account that made the transfer. A single, perfect tear rolled down Taylor's cheek. Chris, maybe I should just leave. There's too much drama here. My heart is racing. Do you believe me? Chris patted her shoulder comfortingly. I believe you. Taylor shot me a triumphant, vicious look over his shoulder and mouthed the words, you're finished. I stared back, confused. How was I finished? But the next second, the assistant rushed back in. Sir, the account, it belongs to Mrs. Hemsworth. The maid instantly changed her story. I'll tell you everything. It was Mrs. Hemsworth. She drugged herself. She told me to frame Miss Swift to get her kicked out of the house. She said if Miss Swift was gone, you would definitely come back to her and love her again. I was a fool to listen. Miss Swift, I'm so sorry. Chris turned to me. Do you have anything to say? What could I possibly say? They had a witness and physical evidence. I had been in a drugged haze for 3 days. How could I prove my innocence? I said softly, Chris, do you believe them? I already asked you for a divorce. What would be the point in winning you back? Or, I offered a small, challenging smile, we could call the police. Let them investigate. Taylor panicked. No, we can't call the police. She grabbed Chris's arm, her voice tight with anxiety. Chris, Scarlett is still your wife. If the police get involved, it will destroy the Hemsworth family name. We can't. I let out a cold laugh and took a step towards her. Why not call the police? Taylor, you're the victim here. Don't you want to see me pay for what I did? Are you really going to let me get away with this? I turned to Chris. Aren't you going to stand up for your damsel in distress? Chris hesitated. He looked at Taylor, and I saw it in his eyes. He understood. He knew the truth. But Taylor's tears started falling again. Chris, I was just so scared of losing you. I was so scared, just like that day when I saved you, and you told me how scared you were. Chris turned his head, refusing to look at me. My wife orchestrated this entire thing. Continue her confinement. And nobody calls the police. I calmly walked back toward the attic. As I passed Chris, I let out a soft laugh. You're blinded by her. Chris didn't say a word. It was hard to imagine someone as rational and calculating as him choosing to protect a villain. Or maybe, it was precisely because he was so rational and calculating that the choice between me and Taylor was so easy. He chose Taylor. Being locked in the attic again, I wasn't as calm as the first time. The doctor had given me an antidote, but a side effect was hyperactivity. My mind was racing with things I wanted to do, but I was trapped. I couldn't do anything. Chris came to see me once. I know you were wrong. What do you want? That diamond necklace you saw at the gallery? The new limited edition handbag? Or should I double my investment in your father's new venture? I looked at him and forced a smile. I want you to sign the divorce papers and give me my freedom. His eyes darkened. Absolutely not. I'll be a widower before I'm a divorce. Ha. I covered my face, the laugh catching in my throat. So you're just going to keep stringing Taylor along in this shady affair? I told you, there's nothing between us. I'm just repaying a debt. You're lying, I said, looking him straight in the eye. You protect her to this extent, and you still expect me to believe you. Chris, you don't love me. Why are you keeping me prisoner? He pinched the bridge of his nose, agitated. I am not getting a divorce. Then you can be a widower. I climbed onto the windowsill and threw open the window. The wind held in, whipping away the calm composure from Chris's face. Scarlett, what are you doing? I looked out at the bright spring day, trying to remember the last time I'd been outside. How many days had Chris kept me locked up? How many more years would I be trapped here? I swung one leg over the edge and smiled at him. I want to be free, even if it means dying. Then I let go. Chris scrambled forward, but he only managed to grab my bracelet. It was a vintage Cartier piece he'd bought for me at a Christie's auction back when we were happy, supposedly the engagement gift of some long-dead princess. But none of that mattered now. The bracelet snapped. And I fell. The next time I woke up, I was in a hospital. Chris was watching me, his brow furrowed. You're lucky. You only broke your leg. Get out, I whispered. I don't want to see you. He gritted his teeth. You think I want to be here? You think I'm begging to see you? He turned and stormed out, slamming the door behind him. A moment later, the door creaked open again. Taylor walked in. She looked at my battered body, a dark, unreadable expression in her eyes. You really are lucky. A 3-story fall and you only broke your leg. I looked at her, my curiosity overriding everything else. Why did you poison me? I'm the one who wants a divorce. You should be targeting Chris. She smirked. I can't rest easy until you're dead. Why? The woman Chris is obsessed with is you. The one he thinks saved his life is you. What does any of that have to do with me? She let out a chilling laugh. Don't you feel a little cold? My eyes darted to my forebed. What did you do? I switched your medication. Replaced it with potassium acetate. In 5 minutes, the levels in your body will reach a fatal dose. Why do you want me dead so badly? Because you are the one who saved him. Taylor stared at me, her eyes wild with madness. Because I'm the imposter. That's why I'm terrified. I'm terrified he'll find out. But I'm not scared anymore. You're about to die, and no one will ever know the secret. You're going to die. That's not certain. A voice came from the doorway. Aren't you coming in? What are you talking about? Taylor frantically threw open the door. Standing on the other side, silent and still, was Chris. I propped myself up, my voice weak but steady. Chris, are you surprised by how this turned out? I knew Chris was listening from the hallway. The door hadn't been fully shut. His original intention was probably to make sure I didn't hurt Taylor, but instead, he stumbled upon a much bigger secret. Chris strode into the room, ripped the 4 from my arm, and slammed the call button. VIP patient, overdose of potassium acetate. I need a crash cart in here, now. Taylor scrambled over, grabbing at his arm. Chris, listen to me, it's not what it sounded like. Let me explain. Chris shoved her away with such force she stumbled. Get out. His eyes were bloodshot. I don't care what the truth is. You tried to murder my wife. You should probably call a lawyer. His voice was chillingly calm, but the hand gripping mine was trembling. I pulled my hand away. Are you thrilled, Chris? To have a bombshell like this dropped on you out of nowhere? You look completely unprepared. He grabbed my shoulders, his voice a raw shout. Can you stop being a smartass for one damn second? Do you always have to win? You need a doctor, not a sparring partner. I was wheeled into the operating room. As the anesthesia kicked in, my consciousness faded. I closed my eyes. Outside, Chris stared blankly at the glowing "surgery in progress" sign. Today, it felt like his entire world had been turned upside down. Taylor was kneeling in front of him, sobbing. Chris, none of that was real. Don't believe her, she's lying to you. It was a trap. She set me up. But Chris wasn't looking at her. He just sat there, numb. After a long silence, he spoke, his voice barely a whisper. Taylor, you told me you were from a small town in Maine. You said you found me during that mudslide when I was 5, that you saved me. He looked up, his eyes burning with a wild, desperate light. Now, tell me, how many of your stories were lies? Why do you have that scar on your waist, and Scarlett doesn't? I wasn't lying. I didn't. You have one more chance. You either confess, or I will find out myself. He stared at her, his voice devoid of emotion. You know I can find out. I'll tell you. The information Chris had was never wrong. When I was 6, my school organized a summer camp in the mountains of Maine. In the woods, I stumbled upon a young Chris, who had just escaped from his kidnappers. We were supposed to be caught together, but that night, a freak mudslide hit. Chris had a raging fever from the terror, and it was up to me to save us. I managed to get him to a safe place before I ran down the mountain to get help. But after I left, Taylor, who had been watching from the shadows, approached him. She told the delirious, feverish Chris that she had saved him, and that she had a scar on her waist. My family found me and took me home. The Hemsworths found Chris based on the information I gave the police. But I never knew the boy I saved was Chris Hemsworth, and over time, the memory faded. In his fever-induced haze, the only thing Chris remembered was that his savior had a scar on her waist. Years later, Chris found the police report. The name of the person who reported the kidnapping was mine. And so, he entered my life. Chris listened in silence. He didn't want to hear any more. He had always been so clear about his role, he was repaying a debt. He didn't love me. Their relationship was built on gratitude, not love. But then why? Why, after being deceived by Taylor, after believing I wasn't his savior, did he not divorce me? Why? Chris had been avoiding that question for 3 years. He had given Taylor everything she asked for, but when she tried to climb into his bed, he rejected her. He didn't know why. Maybe it was a moral code. He was still married. He had to treat his savior with respect. But why not just get a divorce? He didn't know. He only knew that he couldn't stand to see my tears. He couldn't bear to hear me say, I love you. He couldn't watch my descent into madness. Did he love me? If he loved me, then did he love Taylor? He pushed away his confusing feelings for me, his guilt, and hid for 3 years, until I was the one who asked for a divorce. He didn't love me. He married me out of a sense of duty. Just duty. Then why, when he saw my signature on those papers, did he feel such a blinding rage? Today, when the truth finally hit him, Chris felt a strange sense of relief. He finally had a reason to hold on to me, even if I didn't want him. Taylor saw the dark, unreadable expression on his face and clung to his leg, her eyes brimming with tears. Chris, I did it because I love you. I was just so in love with you, that's why I did those things. I couldn't bear to leave you, I love you. 3 years, Chris. Didn't these 3 years leave any mark on your heart? Chris suddenly laughed. If we're counting years, do you think your 3 compare to Scarlett's 8? He grabbed her by the throat, his thumb stroking the artery. Taylor trembled, staring at him. Chris was a handsome man, with a cold, aloof beauty. When he didn't smile, he looked like ice. Thin lips, sharp eyes, an air of frost. But now, his usually calm face was twisted with a desperate, manic energy. He squeezed her neck, his entire being radiating a dark, suffocating aura. Taylor looked into his eyes and suddenly understood, this man would never show her an ounce of mercy again. She started to laugh. Chris, do you really think you can go back now? Do you know why I asked you to say, I love you that day? Because Scarlett was standing right behind you. Do you know the look on her face? It was like her world had ended. She wanted a divorce the second she heard it. You're tainted in her eyes. She doesn't want you anymore. She wants to leave. And you can't stop her. Chris's hand started to tremble. Taylor, sensing her advantage, twisted the knife. Chris, you will never be able to keep Scarlett. The only thing you can do now, to save face, is to keep me. Let me replace Scarlett. Let me be your Mrs. Hemsworth. You're stuck with me for life? But she couldn't finish. Chris threw her to the ground. I will keep Scarlett. The Hemsworths and the Mays still have a business partnership. Even for her family's sake, Scarlett won't leave me. He crouched down, looking at Taylor, his smile gentle and refined. It was a business merger. We have financial ties. Our shares, our assets, are all intertwined. So, Scarlett and I will be intertwined. As long as I don't agree, she can never leave me. I can force her to stay with me with money. I can keep her. Just then, his assistant burst in. Mr. Hemsworth, we have a problem. The hospital said Mrs. Hemsworth transferred out as soon as her surgery was over. We can't find her. Chris shot to his feet. Find her. Turn this entire country upside down if you have to, but find my wife. Meanwhile, I was on a flight to Paris. My friend, Chloe, looked at me with concern. You've lost so much weight. Are you sure you're okay? I managed a weak smile. I'm fine. The potassium acetate was never even injected into my body. The moment Taylor arranged for someone to switch my for, I had someone switch it back. I just wanted to hear what she had to say, what she was planning, and to buy myself time to escape. After all, a 13-hour surgery gave me more than enough time to get to Paris. Chris was an arrogant man. After we got married, he didn't want me involved in his company, assuming I was completely dependent on him. But I had my own jewelry design studio, based in Paris. I had been running it remotely for years. In the States, he might have had control. But outside of his territory, he was powerless. Chloe watched my face carefully. After a long moment, she asked softly, so what's your plan now? Do you still love Chris? Now that you know you're his savior, with all this history between you, are you just going to hide forever? I laughed softly. I'm going to wait out the 2-year separation. After 2 years, I'll file for divorce and be done with him. But now you're his savior. I don't care anymore. I looked at Chloe and suddenly smiled. When he locked me in that attic, I did a lot of thinking. Can this man really give me a stable life? He's only 36. He has at least another 20 years of drama in him. This time it was Taylor, but what about next time? What if he gets obsessed with someone else? What do I do then? You've seen what he's like. He either loves you to death or wants you dead. When he thought he loved Taylor, he could ignore the fact that she poisoned me, and torture me, lock me up. When he thought he loved me, he poured millions into my family's company, just to marry me. If I have to be with him for the rest of my life, I'll have to constantly be the person he loves. That's too exhausting. I'm done. I don't want to be the moth to his flame anymore. I don't trust his love. I never want to be locked in that attic again. I want to run, and jump, and have a life of my own. Chloe hugged me tightly. Good. We'll stay far away from him. We'll never think about him again. From now on, we live our own lives. To hell with him. I spent 2 years in Paris without Chris, without my toxic family, without any of the drama. My life was just my work, my friends, my passions. Whatever I wanted to do, I did it. This was the freedom I had been craving. The next time I saw Chris was 2 years later, at the courthouse in New York City. I had filed for divorce, and we were required to attend pretrial mediation. Chris had lost a lot of weight. His face was the same, but if before he was a calm, cool moon, now he was a moon shrouded in storm clouds, exuding a dark, almost manic energy. Long time no see, I greeted him. He didn't respond, just stared at me, his eyes burning. Your Honor, I do not consent to this divorce. Our marital relationship has not broken down, Chris said, his voice firm. According to state law, in a pretrial mediation, if one party does not consent, the focus should be on reconciliation. My wife disappeared 2 years ago. I have been searching for her tirelessly. This was not a mutually agreed upon separation. Here is the missing persons report I filed with the NYPD. Here is the private investigation firm I hired. This proves that the so-called separation occurred without my knowledge or consent, and is therefore invalid. I just looked at him calmly and offered a small smile. Are you finished? Chris stunned for a moment. I gestured for my lawyer to present our evidence. Your Honor, this is the evidence that my client was poisoned by my client's husband's third party during the marriage. This is the medical report from the family doctor, including surveillance footage. Furthermore, this is the witness's confession. I believe the defendant is familiar with this, as he was the one who reported the third party to the police and had her sent to prison. Therefore, my client's life was under significant threat during the marriage. And this is evidence of the defendant's illegal confinement of my client, which also caused severe harm. This is the record of my client's communication with the NYPD, which proves that my client was not, in fact, missing. But rather, she was forced to leave due to a credible threat to her life. With every piece of evidence, Chris's face grew darker, until the pressure around him was suffocating. Scarlett, do you have to do this? What other way is there? I smiled. Chris, did you think this was a game? He said, his voice cold, I will never divorce you. Don't forget, this was a business merger. Are you going to abandon your family? The parents who drugged me? What's there to care about? I looked at him and said, word by word, I don't care about any of it anymore. I just want my freedom. I want to be free. But I love you. But I don't love you anymore. That I love you, I had waited 8 years to hear. Now, I had no desire to hear it at all. When the mediator announced that the mediation had failed and the case would proceed to trial, Chris closed his eyes. He pinched the bridge of his nose. Just as I was about to leave, he said softly, Scarlett, I won't let you go. Even if it takes a lifetime, we will be husband and wife for a lifetime. I turned to look at him. No, Chris. I won't give you the chance to drag this out for a lifetime. When I make up my mind, no one can change it. He looked at me, and a single tear unexpectedly slid from the corner of his eye. Is there really no chance for us? That was the first time I had ever seen Chris cry. He had always been calm, rational. Even when I was on the brink of death, he was composed. But now he was crying. But it was no different from a crocodile's tears. I turned away. Chris, don't make me lose respect for you. Let go. Chris got all our old friends to try to talk to me. Every single one of them was on his side. Chris and Taylor never even had a physical relationship. You've been married for so long, you have such a deep connection. Are you sure you want to throw that away? A man like Chris is hard to find. He searched to the ends of the earth for you. Don't you think it's unfair to him to just leave? He was only nice to Taylor because he thought she was his savior. And look what happened to her. Now that the truth is out, he'll only have eyes for you. If you leave now, what was all your suffering for? I put down my teacup and looked at my friend, and, do you think I should forgive him? Of course. And where is Taylor now? In prison, of course. And, if another woman showed up with a mountain of evidence proving that she was Chris's savior, where would I be? Well, you can't compare the two. Chris is the kind of man who either loves you to death or wants you dead. Do you really think spending a lifetime with a man like that, I wouldn't be constantly terrified of what would happen if he stopped loving me? I don't want to, and I can't, live my life tied to a man's heart. Especially when a heart can change in an instant. And fell silent. We both knew, this was the only way it could end. Unless I gave in. But why should I? On the day of the trial, Chris hired the best divorce lawyer in the country. We fought for a full day, but it was useless. The things he had done couldn't be erased just because he regretted them now. In the end, I won. The divorce was granted. The moment the judge's gavel fell, he covered his face and sobbed. Scarlett, is there really not a single chance for us anymore? No. Chris, I have no regrets. But I do. He rolled up his sleeves, revealing a crisscrossing network of scars on his arms. Every single day, I regret it. Why didn't I trust you? Why did I leave you? Why did I do those things? We started out so well. We were married. You loved me. I had a perfect hand, and I threw it all away. Every time I regret it, I cut myself. Only when I see the blood can I remember how you felt. Can I feel your pain? Can I feel you by my side? I regret it. Scarlett, I'm begging you, turn around, look at me. You can't be this cruel to me. You said you loved me. I looked at his broken, weeping form and said softly, but Chris, I told you I loved you 999 times. You only said it back 3 times. Every time, I lied to myself. I told myself it didn't matter. But I don't want to lie to myself anymore. It does matter. Hurting yourself only proves that you're emotionally unstable. It doesn't prove that you love me, or anything else. Let's end it here, Chris. Don't make me look down on you. And don't make me say the first words of hatred to you. With the divorce decree in hand, I left the country and flew back to Paris. Chloe was waiting for me at the airport. The moment she saw me, our friends popped confetti cannons, and a giant banner unfurled. Congratulations, Scarlett, on your divorce. Chloe hugged me tightly. Congratulations. Scarlett, from now on, your life is free of toxic men like Chris. Our future is bright. I held her hand and said softly, bright. Epilogue. After Scarlett left, Chris sat alone in the courthouse for a long time. He thought about a lot of things. Why he couldn't see it before, why he had played a perfect hand so badly, why things had ended up this way. But thinking about it all, he was certain of one thing. Scarlett would never come back. What would a life without Scarlett be like? Even after 2 years, it still felt foreign. He had never truly believed she would leave him. He believed in the tangled web of their financial ties, in his own power, in Scarlett seeing his true heart. But he forgot, Scarlett was a person of absolute conviction. For 2 years, he had been living a temporary life. Scarlett's favorite things were still in their place. Maybe she would come back tomorrow. Maybe she would love him tomorrow. Everything was temporary. Until now, when the dust had settled, and Scarlett was well and truly gone. He lay in the bathtub, a heavy exhaustion washing over him. He looked at the crisscrossing scars on his arms. Every single one was a result of the 730 days, 17,520 hours of collapsing he had endured. The rest of his life without Scarlett, more days, more hours of collapsing, or every second of collapsing, he didn't dare to think about it. He picked up the razor, found the right spot, and made a single, clean cut. And then he allowed himself to fall asleep, and never wake up again. He thought, if he could see Scarlett again in his dreams, he would never again care about so-called debts or gratitude. He just loved the girl with those eyes.